As we said a few years ago, Apple introduced in-app purchases, and this was probably one of those WWDC announcements that they... Well, not WWDC, but in March, April, when they used to announce the new iOS for the next year. Apple didn't do that this year, but we're expecting that they will do in a couple of weeks, June the 6th. If I'm not mistaken.
Is the supposed conference date.
Why we're talking about this, Alex?
Well, because that's the usual time. Perhaps we would get a new iPhone. But this year it's seeming unlikely. The case may be instead we'll get an iOS update. iOS 5 should be announced at WWDC this year, which is only, like we say, a couple of weeks away. And there's lots of interesting things to come with it. And you think if there's no hardware... announcement, perhaps the software announcements have got to be pretty good to make up for that. And one report is saying that they're trying to get journalists involved because they think that it's going to be so big. There's going to need to be a lot of reports made to it. So they're kind of confident about what's going to be happening.
That's from Electric Pig in the UK saying that they've been approaching journalists from major publications to encourage their attendance regarding Apple's plans for release of new iPhone hardware. I would take that with a pinch of salt. It's more software. Apple itself said, and this I quote from their announcement, that a preview of future iOS and macOS X. That's what you find on their webpage. Yeah.
So what are we talking when we talk about these changes? So iOS, particularly, TechCrunch has been saying that a completely revamped notification and sort of widgets.
That'd be nice.
Going to be
really
changed.
Like that.
So widgets is something we don't really see at all.
But we would like to.
Which would be good if they did this at all. Obviously, this is something we see over other OSs, Android and things. It's a big part of their system. But nothing on Apple's system. But they could be introducing that.
How do they do that? They would have to change everything, right?
Yeah, it would be a big change, wouldn't it? Unless there's some clever way of doing it.
Unless it would be a bit like the calendar. App in which the icon actually changes, but that would
you're very limited to what you can do with that.
Very disappointing, so that would be good. And also notifications. We've been hearing about this for a long time. We said that Apple actually hired the guy who did notifications for the Palm, now HP Web OS, which is great, by the way. And so that would be nice. Also, we've been hearing rumors that the deal that Apple had with Nuance about voice recognition might not come in its entirety. Can't speak today.
Very good, yeah. It's good if you don't record the voices for Nuance.
Yeah, isn't it? Exactly. It won't show itself up in the new iOS completely, but there might not be even any voice
enhancements yet.
But these are the rules.
It's a massive job, isn't it? That
it
itself.
Is. It's probably the biggest one of all.
So, yeah.
And also, I've heard some rumors that the maps will still be Google Maps.
Okay.
Which, again, would be pretty disappointing. I think if there's no hardware, Apple has to make a big splash on the software.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting a long time,
Still using Google is fine as long as they don't keep it how it is at the moment. If they add a lot more into it as well, which, like you say, if it was Google, the chances of that are less likely.
I'll be very disappointed if the new iOS 5 does not bring some kind of a new revamped UI.
Yeah.
We need to see. It's been...
Maps is still 4 years.
5 years, man.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Okay, 4 or 5 years. When was iPhone originally introduced? Was it 2000? I can't even remember. 2006 or 7? Was it 7? Might have been. I can't remember. It was many years ago. Anyway, long time ago. Yeah. A decade or more in technology years, I'm sure. So what else? What else will we see? Well, you might not see an iPhone 3GS with iOS 5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The rumour's saying that the 3GS may not support iOS 5, which seems a little strange because at the moment that is currently one of the models they're still selling from Apple. So it's not exactly a very old version, but they say it won't support it.
But compare that to when iOS 4 came out, the 3GS, of course, would support it. And the 3G... You could upgrade to iOS 4, but with many limitations.
Yeah, because of the processor speed and things like that. And even then, there was problems with it. Whether
Oh yeah, it was stupidly so. I
there was
remember
problems,
I had one.
yeah,
You
and
had one.
Apple had to do something about that and bring out a fix for that. So, in hindsight, it may have been an idea to have not released it on the 3G back then. So obviously, that could be something they think about doing when it comes to iOS 5.
I would expect my iPhone 4 to receive iOS 5 in all its glory.
All of it, yeah.
I hope.
Yep.
But there you go. If you have a 3GS, then you might be out of luck, really, for
Yeah.
iOS 5.
Which, like I say, could be a shame because you may have just bought one new yesterday.
Yeah, because they're quite cheap nowadays, aren't they? So.
Yeah, but there you go.
All right. What else? What else do we have about the iOS? Oh, okay. So